music, athletics, arts, and entertainment. The Desert Tiger Podcast with Colton Geschwantner.
There is a thunderous noise coming from the mellow landscape of Vancouver Island these days. Hailing from the Cowichan Valley is a shaggy-haired foursome who are not only bursting onto the BC music scene, hot off the release of their newest EP, Tempest, are starting to share their name with Canadians all over the country and are starting to break out into a few different continents as well. Mixing vintage southern blues sensibilities with screeching and electrifying guitar riffs, thundering drums, and lyrics that are true to the heart. These rock and roll brothers in arms represent a new generation of North American rock bands. Nuts and bolts rock and roll is how many would describe the dynamic of sound and electrifying live performance that is Band of Rascals. Band of Rascals is made up of four friends with very distinct characteristics, like the name would lead you to believe. Lead singer Sam Trainer is all that you want out of a frontman. He's charisma in human form, flowing locks and howling vocals. Malcolm Owen Flood is known for his magnetic lead guitar playing and his studio chops. Sean the Nosh is the kind of bass player that great rock tales are written about, and trust me, most of them are definitely not PG friendly. And the band is grounded out by Markus Manus, a flame-haired hero armed with a set of drumsticks and a killer smile. After the tremendous success of their debut year and their debut EP, the band felt like they were just getting started. And even with insane responses, it showed them that it was only just the beginning. And this holds true as the band is continuing to break new ground, performing in constantly growing audiences and new markets, continuing to write new music and not rest on their laurels, and pushing the boundaries of what defines modern rock while still mixing in that classic blues sound. With their music currently being played in 3 different continents and 61 different countries, the band is striving to keep pushing forward and continuing their impressive upward trajectory. Today, my guests are Malcolm Owen Flood and Markus Manus, lead guitarist and drummer for Band of Rascals. Hello and welcome to episode 20, and this is the Desert Tiger Podcast. I am your host, your referee, your MC, and whatever I choose to be, Colton G. And thank you guys so much for tuning in today, whether it's on Spotify, whether it's on iTunes, Castify, Castbox, Stitcher, Google Play Music, whatever you're listening on, wherever you are listening from. Thank you so much for tuning into the Desert Tiger Podcast, because it means so much to us, and I hope you enjoy our episode today with Malcolm Owen Flood and Markus Manus of Band of Rascals. Before we get to our interview with Markus and Malcolm, you know we gotta take care of a little bit of business and play you guys a little bit of music. So first off, I want to tell you guys about Audible. If you guys are like me and you love reading, but maybe you don't have the time to read all the time or as much as you would like to, audiobooks are a great solution to this. And I'm going to hook you guys up. If you go to www.audible.com/DTP, you're not only going to get 1 free month of the Audible service, they're also going to hook you up with 1 free audiobook. And if you guys decide to continue subscribing to the service after your free month is done, Audible's going to go ahead and hook you up with a second free audiobook. That's right, you can try out the service and you get a free audiobook in order to do that. Plus, if you like it, they're going to hook you up with another audiobook after that month just to keep you going, to keep you learning, to keep you hearing, to keep you listening to whatever it is you want to. I also want to take a quick moment to tell you guys about Collar and Elbow. Collar and Elbow is a streetwear company that is inspired by wrestling and started by former WWE superstar, former TNA wrestler. He is trained for both companies, Mr. Al Snow. Al Snow decided to start up Collar and Elbow to help not only support athletes and wrestlers, but great podcasts like the Desert Tiger podcast. And if you guys head over to their web store and use the code DTP when you're checking out, you're going to go ahead and save yourself 10% off at the Collar and Elbow web store. Alright, we need to get into our interview. But before we do that, we need to play you guys a little bit of music by Band of Rascals. So I hope that you guys are ready to get loud, because Band of Rascals is ready to holler.
Tell me where, let me know. Hear me holler when you go. Tell me where, let me know. Hear me holler when you go. When you feel a little better, when you land it's like a feather now. The sound around is much too loud. Hold on for a brighter day. Holler, I'll be running. Holler, I'll be jumping. Holler, I'll be coming, calling your name. Holler, I'll be kicking. Holler, I'll be screaming. Give me a day.
The Desert Tiger Podcast.
All right, we are here with two of the members of Band of Rascals. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves and what you play in the band?
For sure. I'm Malcolm Owenflood. I play guitar and harmonica.
And I'm Markus Manaz, and I play drums.
Awesome. Kick ass. All right. So how did the Band of Rascals end up getting together?
So Malcolm and I, we used to play music together when we were kids, like 11 or 12 or something like that. We played covers in my garage back in the day. And then we went to different high schools and kind of lost touch for a while. And then Malcolm just messaged me one day on Facebook and asked if I had anything going on. And I just gotten out of another rock and roll project in Victoria a few months before. And yeah, we just decided to jam. And he brought Sam, our singer, and I brought a bassist. And that was pretty much it. We just got together. And yeah, it was just fun playing rock and roll. And the rest is history, I guess.
Nice. Awesome. So when around was that?
That was probably our first jam, I think, was like May of 2013. And then we pretty much just jammed, like, I don't know, 3 to 4 days a week or something, like that whole summer. And then Malcolm and Sam both went traveling for quite a while. We took probably like 8 months, 6 to 8 months off, I guess, when they were traveling, and then got back to it in 2014. So yeah, it pretty much really started in 2014 for us.
Okay, nice. So did you guys play a lot of shows before you recorded your first EP, or?
You know what? I don't think we played that many at all. I think we played our first show July of 2013, July 6th, and it was at just a pub around here. It's the local watering hole. So yeah, we played there, and then I think we just kept writing, and because we didn't really have any expectations, we weren't really actively pursuing gigs. We were just writing and having fun, and then we recorded a couple songs right before Malcolm and Sam went traveling, and then I think when you guys came back, we had that show at Upstairs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, it wasn't much. We played a little bit. One gig, basically recorded a couple songs, and then when they got back, then we started pushing it and getting more shows. But yeah, we didn't really play too much. So.
Okay. So who did you guys record that EP with?
I actually recorded that one.
Oh wow!
That's what I did. I record bands, and so it kind of made sense that we give that a shot for the first one, and that worked out great for us. And then after that, we decided that we would try going to an outside producer kind of thing, just to like bring an unbiased opinion into it, and then that was the result of this new album we just released.
Oh, awesome. That is pretty awesome. So what was the transition between your guys' first EP and the new EP, Tempest?
There was a lot. That's when like things started taking off. Like we started getting more festivals on that first album, and some radio play. We hooked up with our management team, and then all this while we were writing the next album. And while that was going, we just kept on planning and writing, and then we hooked up with Eric Ratz, the producer of the new album, and that conversation started, and then all of a sudden we were just back in the studio. It kind of went really quick. Even though it was a few years, we were just so busy through it that it feels like the ball never stopped rolling at all. It just from one album to the next seamlessly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So did like everything just sort of fall in line for you guys, or was it just sort of like really hard? Did you guys just like work really hard at putting your name out there at the beginning, or how did you guys end up getting like all the radio play and all like and everything like that?
It was really organic for us. I don't know. We didn't really. It's kind of strange to say, I guess, but we didn't really try. We didn't have any specific goals in mind early on. You know, we just kind of went with it, and yeah, we hooked up with Jesse Roper early on. He really liked what we were doing, and so that was cool because he already had his own thing going on in Victoria. So we played a couple shows with him, and it just kind of snowballed from there, really. We just, we met a lot of really great people in Victoria, and then, yeah, the radio play started with the Band of the Month feature from The Zone at 91.3 in Victoria.
Mm-hmm.
They chose us as the featured band for January of 2015, I guess, and then after that, we had a really good relationship with them. So anytime we released music, they were awesome and would spin it for us. And yeah, it just kind of it built really organically for us, and that was really cool. We weren't, it's not like we were really slugging it out trying to get radio play or anything like that. Yeah, the Zone's just been really, really awesome to us and made it really easy for us. So yeah,
that's good to hear.
Really good.
It's good to hear
Sure,
that you guys. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sure it's easier to us now than it was, though.
Yeah.
It seems like it was just effortless, but I'm sure during the time we were probably feeling the battles a little more, but who knows?
Yeah, totally.
Pulling your hair out.
Like a walk in the park or anything like that. That's for sure. I mean, yeah, we were grinding. We got a lot of support from Victoria, and that really helped us. So, but yeah, I mean, we put the work in for sure. So.
Nice. That's good. How is working with Eric Ratz, a producer that's worked with bands that definitely have a bluesy sort of sound like yourself, like Big Wreck, and Danko Jones has a little bit of blues songs, the Arkells, Big Sugar. What did he add to the experience, and did he add anything to the band?
Yeah, he was amazing to work with. He taught us a lot, I think, and we did pre-pro with him before recording, where we kind of workshopped the songs, and he had lots of suggestions for us, and kind of just pushed us to make it as best as we could. So he really set kind of a standard for us, I think. And then working in the studio with him was amazing as well. He really kind of embodied what we were going for. And it turned out exactly, I think, how we wanted it to. And I don't think it would have happened without him understanding our vision for it.
Yeah, definitely. You have to have somebody who understands the vision and is able to represent that in a good manner.
Absolutely, yeah. And plus he just had 1,000 cool stories about all the bands he's worked with. That was really inspiring.
Yeah, man, it was awesome. Right from the very first time we met him, when he flew out and did pre-pro with us, right from the beginning, it was I think we clicked really well. And yeah, he actually spent some time living out here on the island too, so I feel like we connected from that too. But yeah, man, it was really cool right away, and yeah, I think we saw eye to eye on it, and that was, yeah, it just made it really, really seamless for us, and yeah, it turned out exactly how we wanted, like Malcolm said.
That's good to hear. Did it take you guys a while to break off of the island, or was that an easy transition?
Yeah, I think it was pretty much this album that did it. But we released the single a little early, and we did a couple mainland trips and Ontario trips and stuff like that before the release of the album, and that started bridging the gap. And now it's our latest single, Holler. It's kind of finally happened, and we feel at home out there now.
Yeah, it's a killer single, guys, so I can understand how it's getting you guys some ground.
Oh, right on, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm really proud of that one. I think that was that's so tough. I don't know if this is going to be a question, but I think that's one of my favorite off the album. So I'm really happy that people have embraced it like they have. It's been pretty cool.
Okay. Do you guys have a song off of either of your releases that mean the most to you personally?
For me, it's Altitude off the new album. I don't know. There's something about that riff that's just kind of special to me. And then I'm really, really happy with how everybody else's parts came together respectively. I love the drum groove, love the lyrics and vocal melodies and the bass line. It just wrote that riff, and then it came together awesome. And so that was one that I feel special about for sure.
Yeah, I don't really. Did you say this one and the last one, or the last one?
I said any song off either of the releases.
Oh, okay. Man, that's so tough because Holler for me was like I really enjoyed the song. Writing it was really fun and I love playing it too. But I'm gonna go out here and say Control off the new one was like, I don't know, man. I love playing that song and same like Malcolm and I wrote that one a couple of years ago actually at my place. We were just jamming and came up with that one in like I think one, like a couple hours or like an hour or something like that. The music anyway, and so then to see it kind of go through the process and come out on the record, I think it's really cool just because we're sitting in the actually where we wrote it, which is it's kind of funny right now. I'm like totally remembering writing it, and it was just. It's really cool to see that one come out and to be on the record and to sound the way it does. I'm stoked on it. So
nice. Well, it's a very good record all around. So I'm
awesome.
Very proud of you guys.
For that.
Yeah. How was your first run of Western Canada to support that album?
Great. They've all been great, but these have been. These last few tours, I guess, have been our first. I guess that was back in July. We did our first tour with Patkin. Is that right, Marcus?
Yeah,
sometime around there. Anyways, we recently signed to a booking agent who's really stepped up our tours. Getting us in some really cool rooms and hooking us up with cool bands and stuff like that. So it's kind of made touring life a little more exciting for us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. You guys have had the opportunities to play quite a few different festivals and share the stage with quite a few different artists who are quite storied and famed in the Canadian rock history.
A little bit. Yeah, it's been very cool.
Yeah, what was it like to share the stage with like the likes of Matt Mays and Sam Roberts?
It's awesome. Those are exactly the people we want to be sharing the stage with. So yeah, the more that's happening, the more we know we're on the right track. I think we can learn a lot from watching those guys as well.
Yeah,
just how good they are on stage and how professional they are, just even off stage. So good role models.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, those guys are awesome, and they're just all so talented. I mean, they're always on, so it's really cool to watch. They're world-class musicians, all of those guys, it's totally been a huge learning experience playing with them. And it's really cool to brush shoulders with them a little bit, backstage and stuff like that. It's really cool. So, it's kind of like childhood dreams, like for Sam Roberts. I used to listen to Sam Roberts when I was a kid. So, it's pretty awesome.
That's good. That's good that you guys appreciate the moment and you're willing to take it in.
Yeah, it can be hard sometimes, I think, like living in the moment. We're getting better.
Sometimes you don't think about it until like months later, and you're like, oh my God, I just opened for one of my favorite bands ever.
I think that actually, when we went to Ottawa last year for Juno Fest, I think that one, like you say, that took a couple months, I think, to actually realize, because we did a lot of stuff in the course of like 3 or 4 days, and then, so we didn't really have time to appreciate it, and then, looking back a couple months later, and I'm like, man, that was crazy. Like, we walked past, the drummer for Billy Talent, and, just, like, he's like, hey, you don't even think about it at the time. Yeah. You're like, oh my God, this is crazy. So, I think we're getting better at living in the moment for sure.
That's good. That's good. You guys have to appreciate it while it's happening. Some people let it pass them by too fast, and then they're always trying to recapture it.
Totally.
All right. Are you guys excited for your run of Ontario and a little bit of Western Canada on the way back?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, super stoked.
I think this is going to be the best one yet. We love the bands that we're touring with, and they're doing really cool stuff as well. So it's kind of a perfect storm of exciting rock and roll music.
Yeah. We've been off since we got back from the last Ontario run that we did, and we played a couple shows here, just like a Christmas sort of thing that we usually do every year. But yeah, we've been off, and so I'm itching to get back on the road, and it's coming up quick. So yeah, I'm really excited to get back. I think everybody's just stoked to get back out. And Ontario's always been so good to us. So we're stoked, man. Play new cities and meet new people. It's going to be great.
Yeah, you guys are playing Vancouver this Friday, hey? And then you guys are heading out to Ontario for the beginning of February.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, and then we fly back from Ontario the day we have to play out on like this little beach festival on the island. Like, so we fly back and drive immediately to the beach, and then I think we have like 1 day of rest before we take off for BC, Alberta.
Yeah,
it's going to be a busy one.
Oh well, it's you guys have to hit the road running, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Not really optional.
Do you guys have any favorite stories from recording or touring that you would like to share?
Touring is like never ending. I gotta like try to think of. Oh well, we've got like. This is actually kind of funny. I might tell it. This might be really awful. I apologize in advance if this is just a painfully hard story to get through. But anyway, our bassist Nochman. He's known to be pretty stressed out quite often, and so we were going to Toronto in April, I guess, of last year, and he had this he had a pass to get in the Air Canada lounge, and so we had an early flight. I think we had like the 6 a.m. flight out of Victoria, and so anyway, we were waiting for Noch, and Malcolm texted me. He's like, "Man, we're going to be late." Noch apparently forgot his pass at his house, so we turned around halfway to where we were meeting, turned around, went into his apartment, looked for it. Like, I mean, he probably looked high and low, couldn't find it, turned around, came back, ended up making us, we were like half an hour late for this flight. Like, it had already boarded, I think, or it was already boarding when we got to the gate, and they were like, you guys, like, you missed it, like, that's it, there's no chance. And we were like, come on, you got to do something, they got to let us on. So eventually, they put us on standby, and luckily, we made it on, but Noach and I sat together and we didn't see Malcolm or Sam. And so we thought they got left in Victoria, and we were freaking out. And I guess they got left and they were kind of like hidden around the corner. And oh man, it was so funny in the moment. Noach and I were like, oh my God, man, these guys are still in Victoria. Like, what are we going to do? Like, all of our gear is here. Like, they're still in Victoria. They're like 5 hours away. We're in Toronto. We have no idea where we're going. Anyway, walked like another 20 feet, and Malcolm and Sam were there. But the stress, man, for that 6-hour flight was insane. Like, we were freaking out. We were like,
would have like missed the gig.
Yeah, it would have been so brutal. But so now, Noach, man, every single time before we have to get a flight, we make sure we tell him to grab his lounge pass, and if he's late, that's it, he's out. So yeah, it was a great one. But yeah.
driving down the streets of Toronto, hollering out the window, "We need musicians!"
Yeah, pretty much, man. That's what it felt like. Anyway, we were freaking out, but anyway, they were there.
By far the most PG Noachman story we have for you as well.
You don't have to stay PG if you don't want to, but that's up to
you. Maybe we'll circle around to something.
Yeah.
The Desert Tiger Podcast.
Don't you worry, it's not over. Don't fret. Don't go anywhere. We're going to get back into our interview with Malcolm and Markus right away, but before we do that, we're going to take care of some business, and we're going to play some more music for you guys. So the first thing I want to go ahead and do is let you know a little bit more about Collar and Elbow. Collar and Elbow is one of the great partners that we have that allow us to bring you the Desert Tiger Podcast weekly for free. And right now, they have a lot of great items on sale. All of their New Year's line, including a very killer fashionable ladies shirt, are $20 right now. The beanie is 20% off, /$5 right off of it. The Planet of the Capes signature shirt, Shames Helm shirt, is 50% off right now. The Simon's Gym shirt is 66% off right now. You can get a towel as well for 50% off. That's just $5.99. And if you guys plug in the code DTP when you're at the Collar and Elbow web store checking out, you're going to save yourself an additional 10% off of that 20%, of that 50%, of that 66%. So go ahead and look that up right now and cop yourself some fresh wrestling-inspired streetwear. Alright, so we're going to play a little bit more Band of Rascals for you guys. So I hope you guys are ready to open up your ears, because this song is called Little Longer Now.
I've got a lot to say, up and around in these clouds. Feel like I shut my way a little longer. This down sticks around a little longer now, a little longer now, a little longer now. How much longer will this down stick around? How can love be so pleasing, making me feel such a fool? We're getting older now, trying to feel it out. Getting older now, a little too old to keep messing round. Found it hard to get close, tough to find true desire. When I bottled my lonesomeness, let fear take me higher. Oh, as these looks are deceiving, I'm getting tired of just falling through. How can love be so pleasing, making me feel such a fool?
Oh, the song's over? Well, this is a little awkward, but I guess you guys caught me in the middle of listening to a Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin on Audible. What's Audible, you ask? Well, Audible is a service that is offered by Amazon in which you can listen to audiobooks on your tablets or your phones and carry them with you everywhere. And if you go to www.audible.com/DTP right now, they're not only going to give you a free month of the Audible service, they're also going to give you one free audiobook to get you started. Whether you're into fantasy like a Game of Thrones, or you're into science fiction, if you're into self-help, if you're into westerns, if you're into romance, Audible has thousands upon thousands of books for you to try from. And if you decide you like their service, after that free month, they're going to give you another free audiobook to keep you going, to keep you listening, to keep you learning. Once again, that is www.audible.com/DTP. www.audible.com/DTP for one free month and one free audiobook to get you started. What do you have to lose? All right, we're going to get back into our interview with Malcolm and Markus of Band of Rascals.
The Desert Tiger Podcast.
Nice. Do you guys have any must-have item, must-have comfort food when you're on the road, when you're touring? A pillow, something to make you a little more homely?
I'm probably the most guilty for this. I've got like this loft in the RV. Like I'm above the cab in the little like overhead beds there in our RV. And I usually have that to myself unless we're touring with a roadie. And I kind of like deck it out. I've normally got like 10 different books, a bunch of pillows and blankets and stuff like that. I've now got a neck pillow I just picked up for the flying.
It's like a nest. You should see it.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
And I pretty much hibernate up there between shows.
He just shuts his curtain and you don't see him until we play. It's so funny. But I think it depends. Like when we're in the RV, yeah, I think having my iPad with me, I usually download some Netflix shows or something like that, or like some good music, and pretty much that's just entertainment, because it gets pretty boring sometimes when you're driving, especially at night, or like through the prairies kind of gets old pretty quick. It's pretty flat, so
I can understand that.
And then same thing with flying. I think the really early business flight to Toronto is on Air Canada Rouge, and Air Canada's been great, but that Rouge plane is tiny. It's like a prop plane. It's so bad. So having something to pass the time, like an iPad or an iPod even, or whatever. Those are some must-haves for sure.
I can agree with that. Definitely need things to keep you busy while you're on the road.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you guys have planned for the future of the band after the tour?
Well, there's more tours. Yeah, there's going to be a hometown show that we haven't quite penned in the details for, so I won't give you too much on that. Which will be fun, though. Those are always a blast. And then, we're going to probably get another music video out in not too long. We're writing. We're always writing. Festival season's ramping up. We're booking that already.
Yeah.
And there's even, we go the September or October tour. Is that enough?
I don't know.
Is that just enough to actually stay?
I don't think so.
Okay, never mind.
But there might be something cool in the works for the fall. But we are just waiting to hear more details and whatnot about it. So, but yeah, it's just a lot of playing, I guess, right now, and writing for sure. Both of those, that's pretty much what we're looking forward to for the rest of the year, as much as we can. It's starting to shape up, so we're stoked.
That's good. You guys gotta be stoked, right? Gotta be excited for the future.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright, so what got you guys started in music?
Kind of impossible to know. Too long ago. I got my first guitar. I picked it out of the Sears Christmas catalog.
Wow!
I asked for it 3 years in a row, and I finally got it, and that was it.
Why did you want a guitar?
I have no idea. I honestly have no idea.
You just thought?
I looked through that catalog every year and said I want the guitar, and I asked for the black one. I got the red one.
You were super disappointed.
That was so pretty.
Heartbroken, right?
That's awesome. Yeah, mine, I don't know, man. I know exactly why. It's just kind of embarrassing, to be honest with you. Everyone's got, it seems like when you hear musicians talk, they have these cool moments where they see Mitch Mitchell playing drums with Jimi Hendrix, and they're like, I want to be like him or whatever. But for me, it was so lame. I was watching Drumline, the one with Nick Cannon. I'm pretty sure it's a Nickelodeon special. And I decided, man, I was like, oh yeah, I want to play drums. That looks really cool. But I didn't want to play, I didn't want to play snare drum. I wanted to play drum, like a drum kit. I knew that. I told my parents, and pretty much, they were really supportive. They were like, cool, let's do it. And started lessons, and that was it. But it's such an awful story. I need to make up a new one. I should make something cooler, because although Nick Cannon inspired me to do something, so there you go. That's pretty awesome. So.
That is pretty awesome. You don't have to feel too bad, because I know a hardcore drummer that was actually inspired by the same movie to get started. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Man, they definitely market that well. It makes drumming look pretty cool. So I was stoked on it for sure, and I'm glad to hear that I'm not the only one.
Oh, I'm sure there's quite a few, especially the stick flips and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty good showmanship in that one for sure.
I'm trying to get him to start doing some of that stuff in our show.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I'm sure I'll get there when he's comfortable. All right, so who were your high school idols and inspirations?
All right. I was like a pretty big metalhead through high school. So like John Five was a guitarist I really like, who played with Manson and Rob Zombie, but he's like a shredder country player as well. Zach Wilde. I can't even think. Adam Jones from Tool. Darren from System of a Down. Those were definitely like the guitarists that I was reading about in magazines and learning and stuff. But I think before that there was just like good old-fashioned rock and roll, AC/DC stuff. And Skinner. Skinner's definitely a huge guitar influence for me. So it was rock and metal that really did it for me. And then I think a little later than that, at the end of high school, I found John Mayer. I went soft for a little bit.
Soft, yeah, right. He's like the best, man.
Oh, he's the best, but he's soft.
Yeah, that's true.
He's better than all those guys I listed, but
yeah. Yeah, for me, I don't know. I went through some really just awful music, to be honest with you. And I don't know. I really was also into like AC/DC and stuff like that when I was playing drums when I was younger, you know, like discovering that. And Zeppelin too. I mean, Bonham's always been a big influence for sure, just the style of play. But then a big one was actually a drummer named Pat Stewart, who played for Bryan Adams and played on Summer '69 and stuff like that. I met him at a festival when I was, I think like 13 or something like that. I was playing with another band and yeah, we just became friends, and he was like a mentor and still is. He came to the the warehouse, in Vancouver when we did the last record. He came out there and hung out for a bit. So I think he was a big influence for me. I took lessons with him and stuff like that, and just kept in contact. And yeah, he was a huge one. But musically, yeah, John Mayer, and I got into John Mayer in grade 10 probably, and Continuum was like a life-changing album, and that's where I discovered Steve Jordan too, who's now my favorite drummer of all time. And yeah, I think that's high school. That's pretty much it. A lot of terrible rock, and then a lot of John Mayer, and that's about it.
Well, if it gets you there, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think I learned a lot from that Continuum album too. Just Steve Jordan's playing is so effortless and so tight. So that was kind of life-changing, really, and definitely changed the way I played. So I am happy I found that.
That's good. It's good. You have to find the inspirations, and
yeah, for sure.
The fact that like the music can still do that to people is fantastic.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So what's on your guys' current playlists?
You know what? Should I just go into Spotify here and check that out? I'm gonna do that because I'll never remember. I'll just do my recently played.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's dangerous, but we'll do it.
I'm listening to a lot of the bands touring with us in Ontario, Texas King. Listening to them a ton, and then Sun K as well. Pretty stoked to tour with both those bands. I think together and Trek Taylor.
Yeah, totally. I'll read a couple off my recently played on Spotify. So I have Adrian Underhill, Laney. I don't know if you know the band Laney I think they're from California, but I actually saw them opening for John Mayer when he came to Vancouver. They're pretty awesome. And then I was listening to Thelonious Monk and Gorillaz, Japanese House, and some Miles Davis. That's my recently played. So kind of all over the place. Some old jazz in there, and then a lot of sort of more poppy stuff too. But it's all over the place, and it changes so often that it's never the same genre, and it's always changing.
Well, it's a lot more fun to be eclectic, right?
Yeah, yeah, I guess that's true. You don't want to be all in the same genre, so yeah.
Nice. Okay, so what are some of your guys' interests outside of music?
You know,
I need to develop some. It would be healthy. I read a lot. Okay, I read. Lately, I try and exercise.
Yeah, that's good.
I like to eat a lot as well.
Yeah, eating, playing music, and sleeping, and those are good things. No, I used to race motocross when I was younger, so I think motorcycles have always been they've always been a big interest for me. I actually rebuilt a bike last year into a cafe racer, so that's always been, that's like a big interest, and I'm always sort of working on my bike and you know, doing that kind of stuff. But I also am really into collecting vintage drums. I know it's not outside of music, so that's kind of breaking the rules here. But yeah, I just actually bought a Rogers kit yesterday from the 70s, and it's never ending. So really into that. And then, I don't know. Definitely like to exercise when possible too. But
Nice.
That's pretty much it. It's a lot of music and then some other stuff on the side. So yeah.
Well, that seems to be the life of a musician, right?
Yeah, totally.
Nice. Okay. So, I'm going to ask a question that might be a little bit out there for you guys, but what are some of the dumbest rumors you have ever heard about yourselves?
Okay, let me think about this.
Oh man.
There's been a couple times where the radio has just thought we were doing stuff. Like, oh, I'm Band of Rascals is playing a 2-man acoustic set. I'm like, what? In our life.
Wait, do you mean band or personally? Band, right?
It doesn't matter, man. Band works.
Okay, no, let's go with band. I defaulted to personal, and anyway, let's go band. That's good. Yeah, I remember that. They were like the 2-man acoustic, and we were listening.
Yeah.
And we were like, when? We're like, who are the 2 men? Like, what are you talking about? That was a pretty funny one.
Got to think. I know there's more.
It's mostly been funny rumors on the radio, hasn't it?
Yeah. Mostly it's just been a little bit of misinformation.
Yeah, totally. There was. This is the one we just talked about. We played Rifflandia last year, and it was published in the program that we had beef with another band called Twin Bandit, but
I don't think I'd met them before that.
me neither. Honestly, I'd heard their name, no idea. I didn't know anything about them, and it was so weird. I was like, it was published. It was it was
in a very nice magazine.
Yeah, it was news to everybody else but us that we're supposed to have beef with these 2 girls in a kind of a pop folk duo. It was super strange, man. We were so confused, and I never ended up meeting them either, so we never got to settle the beef. Maybe they still think we have beef. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
If you're listening, we don't have beef with you. But anyway, that was pretty funny. Other than that,
They were probably hiding the entire time.
we're pretty scary, man. Yeah, they're pretty terrifying.
All right, awesome. All right, before I ask you one last question, where can people find you guys?
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. We felt like I think most of the usuals covered. You know, iTunes, Spotify, radio as much as we can. We got a website, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of it. Bandcamp.
Yeah, it's all just Band of Rascals, at Band of Rascals. And then our website is bandofrascalsmusic.ca. It's pretty easy to find us, actually, if you just Google Band of Rascals now. So the SEO is doing its work.
Nice. That's good to hear. All right, so last question. Do you guys ever experience any writer's block or any moments where you guys don't want to play shows or anything? And how do you get through that?
Do it anyways. Yeah, I don't really get the show thing. I really like playing. So writing can be tough. But we just recently started writing a new thing, and the 3 jams before that didn't really yield any results, but we just did them anyways, and all of a sudden it resulted in what we were looking for.
Yeah.
So it's I don't really even know if writer's block is a thing. It's just that you're working through until you get to the good idea. It's just part of the process.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You got to go through terrible stuff or nothing to get to maybe the good stuff. And yeah, that's actually a perfect example. Yeah, those jams, we didn't do anything. And then also, I don't really get the show thing either too much. There's definitely been times like on the road where I've been really tired, but it goes away as soon as you start playing, so that's totally fine. But we got a new board in our jam space, a digital one, so it's got a bunch of hilarious effects like gated reverb that makes the drum sound like you're actually in the 80s and you're Phil Collins. So playing with that though, and like it's super funny. But adding those kind of effects and stuff like that is really inspiring. Delays and stuff like that, like, can be super inspiring. And I feel like it changes the way you play, and I think it's the same for guitar too. Like, just dial in like weird tones or whatever, and you come up with some new stuff. Just keep it fresh, right? So having that has been really cool to be able to just change the sound in like a second. It's awesome.
I think it was Trent Reznor said that there's a song inside of every guitar pedal.
Yeah, totally. You just gotta find it.
Okay, that's good to hear. All right, thank you guys so much for joining me today.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having us.
All right, awesome. Thank you. All right, you guys know what time it is because it's the 20th time that we've done it so far. We're going to go ahead and thank Malcolm and Markus from Band of Rascals for taking time out of their busy schedules to sit down and talk with me about the history of the band and who they are as individuals. If you guys want to support them or find out more from them, you can do so at any of the places that they listed at the end of the episode. That being their Facebook, iTunes, any of those options. Or, if you want to check them out when they're touring in February, these are the locations and the dates in which you can do so. On February 1st, London, Ontario. The 2nd, Ridgeway. On the 3rd, they're going to be playing Hamilton. Then they're taking a few days off, and on the 8th, they're going to be playing Toronto, and then the 9th, Oshawa. After that, they're heading towards the west side of the country. On February 11th, they are going to be playing the Song and Surf Festival that is happening in Port Renfrew, BC. On the 14th, they're going to be in Kelowna. The 15th, Edmonton. 16th, in Red Deer. On the 17th, they're kicking it up in Cold Lake. And then on the 20th, Lethbridge. On the 21st, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. On the 22nd, my hometown, Regina, Saskatchewan. And then after that, on the 23rd, Calgary, Alberta. And on the 24th, they go to Fernie, BC to end it all off. So if you have the opportunity to check out the Rascals during that time, I highly suggest that you do so. I also want to take a moment to thank you guys, the listeners of the Desert Tiger podcast, for continually tuning in and just continually kicking ass. You guys are awesome, and I couldn't do it without you. So wherever you're listening from, whatever you're listening on, and whoever you are, thank you so much for making the Desert Tiger podcast part of your schedule, part of your day, part of what you listen to. Thank you so much. I also want to take a moment to thank Audible and Collar and Elbow. Without great sponsors like them, I wouldn't be able to bring you this show for free every single week. I'm not one of those guys that's going to go and set up a Patreon and hope that you guys are going to pay me for every single episode. I don't think that that's fair. Instead, I ask that you support my great sponsors so that they can continue supporting me. So once again, that's www.audible.com/DTP for a free month of Audible and a free audiobook. And at the Collar and Elbow web store, if you use the code DTP when you are checking out, you're going to get 10% off of your order. So please, guys, support those guys so that they can continue supporting us so that we can continue to bring you the show for free. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and next week on the show, we have a very special guest. All of our guests are very special, because it's the Desert Tiger podcast, and we bring you awesome stories from awesome individuals. But next week, we have Kenny Lush, who is not only a member of pop-punk / hardcore band Daggermouth, But Kenny is also a wrestler and has also been trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I am very excited for episode 21, and I hope that you guys are too. But before we go, as always, you know, I like to leave you with a little bit of a quote to make you think and to maybe motivate you a little bit. So this quote is from Martin Luther King Jr., as Martin Luther King Jr. Day was earlier this week. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And it's true. If you continue to use hate to try and make a point, people are going to use their hate back in order to try and make their point back. Look at history. It's been repeated multiple times. So if you're going to try and make a difference in a life, make a difference with the things you can control. Don't get frustrated, and do so with light and love. Until next week, a big whoop whoop!
The Desert Tiger Podcast. Subscribe, rate, and review. iTunes, Google Play Music, and Stitcher. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Thanks for listening.